Hello there, fellow gamers. My name is Ashes, and I welcome you all to the channel. Today we are playing GTA 5 online, and this is another reading ASMR. So, we're going to be taking a ride in our limo, and we're going to be heading to the casino. While we do that, we're going to do a bit of reading to pass the time. By the way, if you can hear panting in the background, that is my dog. She's decided to come in now just when I'm about to do a video, so hopefully it won't be that bad. You might even add to the relaxation, maybe. Some people do like breathing to relax too, but anyway, let's take our cover off the book. Let's find where we are up to. Okay, so we are on page 76, and I'm just trying to remember where we were. I think we read, yeah, so there we are. Yeah, so the characters Will and Lonnie, they found the girl they were searching for, Mary May. So we're going to be continuing from this part now, see what happens, see if they confront her, or if Mary May sees them and runs away. Let's see what happens, so let's begin the read. Without taking his eyes away, he handed the rifle over to Lonnie. "Take a look," Will said. He was watching the tiny figure out there below him. A hawk was circling high above, and it was a speck itself, riding on the thermals. "You see the hawk out there? Put the scope on it, and then run the lens down all the way to the meadow." He watched Lonnie now. He watched Lonnie find the hawk, and then he watched Lonnie move the scope down to find Mary May. "John will be happy," Lonnie said. He brought his eye away from the scope and looked to Will, and in that same moment a rifle fired that was not the one Lonnie held in his two hands. Will turned and moved toward the sound. It was down in the mountain field out of which they had just climbed. The rifle fired again, and he heard the echo of the shots and the reverberation as the sound spread from one side of the valley to the other. Then Will started to hear more shots, automatic gunfire, and the big booming of a shotgun. At first he had thought maybe the herder and his son had followed them, or had taken up some position to better take revenge. But now as Will peered back over a loose conglomeration of rocks on the sheep and the meadow below, he could see the herder had started shooting at 5 men now moving up across the meadow, moving exactly toward where Will and Lonnie had now come. Out front and leading the men, amid the surging sheep that swirled and stampeded in a sort of whirling sweep of white, was John Seed. He held in front of him a large metal antenna shaped almost like a wire grid. Will knew it immediately, and he knew that John was not hunting wolves, but that he was hunting them and hunting Mary May, and Will should have known it from the start. The herder fired again, and John's men ducked and then rose, shooting over the backs of the sheep as they came up through the field. Will watched one man holding an AK-47 strafe the campsite, the bullets raking across the dirt. Several more single-fire shots were fired from the sheep camp, but Will could not see the herders. They were somewhere beneath the trees, and they were firing on the men as they moved in among the sheep. A moment later he heard the clop of the hooves, and he saw the two herders doubled on the horse, riding fast along the bottom of the meadow and away. Several of John's men were shooting at them, taking shots as they rose, and fired again over the backs of sheep. Will might not have heard the click of his rifle had they kept on shooting, but as close to him and as familiar to him as it was, he turned almost in the same instant Lonnie pushed to safety forward on the rifle. Lonnie's eye was to the scope and the barrel face down toward the valley in which Mary May was walking, and Lonnie did not need to push the .308 cartridge forward with the bolt, because Will now realised with horror that he had already done it for him. Mary May was 3/4 of the way across the meadow when she heard the thunder. She stopped and looked toward the sky, blue as a robin's egg. She turned and looked toward the ridge she had descended from, and she took a few steps back the way she'd come. She heard the pulse of thunder again, but she knew it was not thunder. The booming sound was diffuse and more of a rumble, just as distant thunder might sometimes be. But around it, and at the edge of this new sound, was the snap of gunfire that she knew well enough, and that she had heard all through her life out in the country. She was looking up toward the ridge, and she was wondering whether whatever had happened could be helped, and she moved now, walking with purpose back the way she'd come. Soon she was running, and she had taken out the .38. She held it tight in her hand to make sure she would not lose it. She came nearly halfway across the field when firing stopped, and there was a strange moment when the world returned to normal. Just a breeze working across the meadow, and the sun above, and the far branches of trees wavering a little in the wind. The rifle shot that passed her was no more than a foot from her, travelling in the air, then thudding into the ground another 10 feet on. She felt the air move. She turned and saw where the dust had ballooned up from off the ground, and then as she stood there, beginning to realise what was happening, she heard the distant shots of the rifle sound from right there atop the ridge. Okay folks, so we're gonna end the video here. We're gonna see what we get. Of course it's RP. Yeah, we're gonna end the reading here. I know it's a short video. I was expecting the limo ride to be a bit longer, but hey ho, I'm gonna do another reading ASMR tomorrow. Thursday 28th of April. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Until next time, take it easy, and I will see you all in the next one.